Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, all of you are doing well. And yeah, welcome back to our match preview show for, of course, the Merseyside derby. First game back, of course, after the international break as well, which is, of course, fantastic to see that the Reds are back in action because, by God, has it been boring the last 2 weeks since the Reds last in action, of course, against Brighton away from home. But of course, we're back with a derby. Of course, we've got news on Andy Robertson as well that we're going to discuss. Of course, Jurgen Klopp has broke earlier on in the press conference, and we're mainly just going to talk about the derby as well. Anyway, it won't be too long, guys. It'll be about 15-20 minute show anyway, but yeah, hopefully all of you are well. Hopefully everyone is doing all okay in the comment section down below as well, and yeah, let me know how all of you are, guys, as well. But we will dive straight into it then. We will discuss, of course, the recent form between the two teams. Of course, obviously, you can see but there tomorrow at 12:30, of course, early kickoff between Liverpool and Everton. And as you can see there, Liverpool unbeaten in the last four Merseyside derbies. Of course, winning by 4 goals to 1, winning 2-0, drawing 0-0 away last season at Goodison Park. And of course, obviously beating them at Anfield last year by 2 goals to 0. I believe it was Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo getting the goals in that game as well. And if we take a look at the form table as well, of course, obviously Everton getting 3 wins out of their last 5. Liverpool likewise as well, obviously losing to Spurs in an obviously controversial game. And then, of course, drawing 2-2 against Brighton as well. But overall, just looking at the as looking at the table in itself, you see here, again, 16th for Everton, not been a good start. It's been an okay start, but not a great start for Everton. And then, of course, Liverpool all the way up in fourth place. Realistically, should be first, but of course, obviously, a few dodgy things happening to stop Liverpool from getting to the top of the league anyway. But just mainly focusing on this game in particular, I think now, obviously, this is the big period for Liverpool in what we do for the rest of the season. Is whether or not if Liverpool go on to fight for a Premier League or whether or not if we are just top four contenders. I think looking at the run of games that Liverpool have at the moment, especially in the Premier League, I'm going to quickly get them up now. For me to remember anyway. But of course, I know we've got Everton on Saturday. Then we've got Forest then next week, and then I'm looking at the games now. We've got Everton, Forest, Bournemouth, Luton, Brentford, and then we've got that 12:30 kick-off then against Manchester City after the next international break. But looking out of all of those Premier League games, for me, I would expect Liverpool to at least get 4 wins from these games. Again, expect to win tomorrow. Expect to win against Forest. Expect to win against Bournemouth, Luton, Brentford as well at home. And then going into the other international break, you then look at it. It could then potentially be a three-horse race between us, Arsenal, and Manchester City. Of course, obviously, if Spurs is still there as well, obviously making it a four-horse race. But I think for Liverpool, it is very much now, getting down to business. This is the key area of the season where, again, you're not going to win the Premier League or you're not going to, at least secure yourself in the Champions League spots by the end of November. But still, again, you could firmly be out the race. Look at it last season where Liverpool was consistently out of the top four. Last year and over compared to this year where we haven't, left the top four really since the start of the season. So again, encouraging signs in that regard as well. But again, looking at Everton, not really been the best start for them. Obviously, I think they lost in the opening 4 games of the season. Anyway, of course, obviously, tomorrow afternoon we'll go one or two ways. Either A, will batter Everton, or B, will be a very frustrating result for the Reds anyway. But I think overall, looking at Everton, I think their one and only game plan is to come to Anfield and park the bus. That I think that's, again, Sean Dyche tactics will be fully there. Of course, obviously, we know what Sean Dyche does against Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool team. Again, we've seen for years with Burnley, practically 4-5-1, and then counter attack, and that's what I think what will happen again. of course, with Liverpool, obviously Jurgen Klopp confirming a few things today that isn't too great for Liverpool. To be fair, we'll quickly get up, of course, obviously speaking about, of course, Andy Robertson in that regard as well. But just speaking briefly on Robbo, of course, as you can see, but they again getting confirmed by Paul Joyce from on Twitter, sorry, saying that Andy Robertson set for surgery as his dislocated shoulder. Jurgen Klopp confirmed Robertson will be out for a while, and it does look like it's going to be about 10 to 12 weeks that Andy Robertson will be out for, at least anyway, which of course is shite. I can't hide around that fact. It's not the best. It's not the greatest news of all time. And now Liverpool leave themselves a little bit lacking at left back. Normally we've got Robbo as such a reliable fullback that's rarely injured. Like, I don't even think he's been that injured since he joined Liverpool. But this is a big one as well, where, look, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of time where you now look at it and go, right, this is a big opportunity for Kostas Tsimikas to definitely, you know, definitely show his qualities again. I think going back to that 21-22 season where again he was absolutely unbelievable in that sense, but it's the sense of, again, I'm not the only person I don't think saying this as well. I don't know if anyone else agrees, if anyone is in the chat, but for me, looking at it, I personally am not confident with Kostas Tsimikas there. Um, I'd be much better and more comfortable with someone like Joe Gomez there, which, saying that last season, I wanted Joe Gomez gone at Liverpool. But I think if you have Joe Gomez there, then you can then properly convert into the 3-2-2-3, or, again, the hybrid system that we've implied. And I think that's what Liverpool, I think, will most likely do. It'll be interesting, though, I think, to be fair, on whether or not Liverpool will actually do that. Now, should Kostas Tsimikas play left-sided centre back in a three? Absolutely not. And don't get me wrong, that's absolutely terrifying. But looking at it, I do think that, again, there's only one or two options, and that is either Kostas or Joe Gomez in that area as well. But again, we will have to wait and see anyway what Jurgen will do. But again, Robbo being out for 12 weeks isn't the greatest of news, especially when there was some encouraging signs that maybe it might be I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks. But again, with him needing surgery on it, again, that takes him out to 10 to 12 weeks. Could even be a bit longer as well if things don't go right, neither as well. But evening, DH as well. Hello, Conor, mate. Hopefully doing well, mate. And yeah, anyone else in the chat as well, let us know. But for me, I think tomorrow, again, we know international breaks isn't great for Liverpool. Again, you look at the players coming back, Darwin Núñez coming from South America. You've got Darwin was over there, Ali was over there. Who else was over there? Mako was over there. I'm trying to think, was there anyone else that was over there? That was it, wasn't it, chat? Those three. I think that's the biggest question mark for Liverpool, especially in the six, as as John said in the comments as well. Quickly get John's comment. Thoughts on the midfield three? Do you think McAllister, Dom, and Gravenberch will start? I think that's probably the biggest question going into tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I think overall, I would personally see that middle three starting. I think there is a real shout for somebody like a Wataru Undo to start as well. I personally wouldn't want that. I'd much rather see McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch in the three. I think that middle three worked perfectly well against Brighton. I think you'd do that in a derby as well. I think that's perfectly fine. That would be my midfield three, personally, anyway. But we'll be fine. Kostas is more than a solid replacement. I think he's decent. I think there's been a bit of worry, like for me, like I've watched, obviously, keeping up with the Europa League games and just watching, Kostas in detail. I'm like, there's a few things that he's not reacting to well. And I don't know whether or not if that's because of a lack of playing time. Again, this little period now will be a true indicator of what Jurgen Klopp thinks, because again, obviously Costas signing that new contract, you would assume that again Costas would stay around for pretty much a very long time. But I think for me it was very interesting that Jurgen was quickly there to say, "Oh, Joe Gomez is also available as well," and that's for me the little inkling of what maybe Jurgen is thinking in terms of, again, it might be Joe Gomez tomorrow. Again, if Liverpool, I think, are playing a 4-3-3 as a 4-3-3, I think Costas is more suited to that. I think for if Liverpool are playing inverted, then I think Joe Gomez is better because then you've got three centre halves, playing three centre backs then realistically, and then Costas, you don't have anyone else bombing that. But then again, look, at the end of the day, I think if Costas can prove me wrong, I'd be more than happy. And more than happy, of course, if Costas proves everyone right as well. But good evening, Rick. Hope you're doing well, mate. Or Luke. It might be Luke as well. You need rhythm. He'll get that now as well. Yeah, hopefully, mate, as well. LC fans will be writing of Robbo as per usual. Uh, I, I I personally don't get the Robbo hate so much. I understand the position. Like, look, don't get me wrong. Robbo hasn't looked great this season so far. Hello, Luke. It is Luke. I know it's you, Luke. But Robbo hasn't looked amazing, and that's because of the system. Don't get me wrong. Like, Robbo's done brilliantly for the position. Um, but it is a position I think Liverpool need upgrading on. Not so much Andy Robertson. I think if Liverpool go back to 4-3-3 without the inverted system, I think there's no one better than Robbo. But I think Liverpool could do with a third centre back or left sided centre half, and that is Gonzalo Inacio. I've always said it since last summer that he would be the one for me if Liverpool are, properly looking at transitioning into the system. Then he would be the one for me because he can play in a four, he can play in a three, and then if you do, for example, if you want to play a three, the three can play on the left hand side. If you want to play a back four, you can also play left sided centre back. Andy Robertson is left back. So again, it's a versatile option, but it's also a good option to have as well. Anyway, but yes, I know it's you, Luke. Anyway, away the lads. Good evening, Geordie. Hopefully doing well, mate. And yeah, I think you've got Palace this weekend, if I'm right, Geordie, as well. So that should be I'd say a win for Newcastle. I've got a Newcastle win on my bet, to be fair. So again, obviously, please bet responsibly. I should say that. And yeah, it should be a good win for Newcastle, to be fair. Watch them actually lose now and let me down. But yeah, how are we, Geordie? Anyway, but for me, anyway, guys, just quickly going on to start 11 predictions. For me, I think back five writes itself maybe now. I think it will be Ali in goal. I think it'll be Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think it'll be Ibu Konate. I think it'll be Virgil van Dijk, and I think it will be Costas Tsimikas. Even though I would like Joe Gomez there, I do think it would be Costas. I think Jurgen might go with Costas. Middle three for me, again, McAllister, Gravenberch, and then the man that's been, in my opinion, the best Premier League midfielder so far this season, Dominic Szoboszlai. And then on the left, I think obviously that's another conversation to have. Again, who does the front three? Who do you go with? Do you go with Lucho? Do you go with Darwin or Jota or Gakpo? I think Mo writes himself into the team. But I'd go Mo Salah, I'd go Darwin Núñez, and I'd go Luis Diaz. I know that Cody Gakpo is back, he's fully fit and he's training. But I think personally, if Darwin's fit, I think you start Darwin. He's being unbelievable at the minute in terms of, again, watch that Uruguay game against Brazil, unstoppable in that game in particular. And I think as well for a derby, be up for it. And yeah, I think for me that's Liverpool's best front three on paper. I think if you add Robbo into that team, I think that's probably Liverpool's best midfield or best team on paper as well. And also as well, I'm going to go with a 3-0. Again, guys, let me know your score predictions if anyone is still in it as well. For me, I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. I just don't see Everton. Oh, watch this come back to bite me. I don't see Everton threatening that much. And again, it might be different because again it's a derby and everyone's sort of forms out of out of the window. But I just think first game back at Anfield, derby, even though it is half 12, I think everyone's going to be up for it. And I think, like I said, I think that this is the start now of what Liverpool are going to do for the rest of the season, and hopefully that is challenge for a title. Um, I want it to be, going for a title, but again, look, I think the bare minimum is to get top four. And to be fair, um, hopefully, again, we get, a good showing tomorrow. Anyway, good evening, Ant. Hopefully, doing well, mate. Obviously, you's top of the league at the minute. Are you top of the championship now? Again, I haven't really been. I've watched the championship for like 4 weeks and then stopped watching it. Are you top of the league? I'm guessing it's top of the league. Judging again, at least I'll be seeing you next year, Ant. Anyway, you are top of the league by 2 points. I don't know whether or not if it was you or, to be fair, Ipswich. To be fair, but again, like surely you expect yourself to get back into the Premier League, and anyway, because it's 12 wins out of 13. That's very, very decent, to be fair. As well, like you should be getting it's back into the Premier League. That team should never have got relegated. I know it's gone through change throughout the summer, but look, come on, you should be getting it back into the Premier League quite easily as well. It'd be nice to see you back. Actually, no, it won't be nice to see you back because again, it would be like if something happens between Liverpool and Leicester, it's like again, I'm gonna have you as a wind-up merchant. So just stay in the Championship for a season, please. Anyway, I'm only kidding anyway, but good to see you and in here as well. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 chat. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Liverpool show up, Liverpool perform tomorrow as well, and yeah, fingers crossed, we actually get a win, and it's not a boring Merseyside derby, neither anyway. But makes the a little Irish even worse after. Jesus Christ, what what on earth? What the earth you on about? But anyway, guys, if you are new around here, of course, like I said, it's only gonna be a 15-minute, 20-minute stream anyway. And of course, look, for God's sake, 4-0 Merseyside derbies. They're not. It's just Liverpool win. Like that's what you want. You want Everton to win. I already know what you want. Anyway, but Preston as well. Hopefully doing well, mate. Saying, come on, Reds, 3-1 win. Lineup: Alisson, Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Kanate, Trent, Endo, Gravenberch, and Sobo, Jota, Nunes, and Salah as well. So no Diaz and no Maka in that team either for press. But yeah, for me, I think look, major thing is just performance. That's the number one thing I want. I want Liverpool to perform. And normally after international breaks, that doesn't happen too well. It happened against Wolves the second half, which I'm hoping again. But look, hopefully, fingers crossed, Liverpool will get the win, and fingers crossed, we'll actually perform really good tomorrow as well. I know if anyone is up next week, I will be at the Forest game next week as well. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Might be going to the Europa League game. I'm not too sure yet, but again, hopefully, if any of you are going to the Forest game, then let me know, and we'll meet up for a cheeky pint if anyone is in town as well. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. Hopefully, you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. I was going to say Sunday then, Friday, and then yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with a post-match reaction to hopefully Liverpool beating Everton. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. I'll see you guys next week. Next week? I won't see you guys next week. I'll see you tomorrow with a post-match reaction. But yeah, ta-ra.